When the invasion occurred on February 24th, I was actually getting ready for a conference.
Russian airstrikes bombard Ukraine.
I couldn't look away. This is a war about who gets to have a country, who gets to have a language, who gets to have a culture.
I knew that there were materials that are really unique and precious in Ukrainian institutions that were in immediate danger or at risk.
There are these amazing digital collections readily available on the web, but they're just as in danger when there's a crisis.
We grew concerned that things might happen to Ukrainian digital cultural heritage.
The infrastructure of the internet that we rely on is very complicated, and so to understand when a website is a risk is really not an easy task. In a situation like now where we have a war in a country, these digital collections are on servers that need to be maintained by people, and they're just as at risk as physical objects.
A missile could hit the server and the equipment could be blown up.
Once it goes down, if it doesn't come back up, it's gone.
Everybody was trying to find a way to help.
I tweeted out that I was going to run a data rescue workshop for a bunch of music librarians.
When I saw Anna's tweet, that sort of broke through my sense of paralysis with the war.
From a historian's perspective, I thought, okay, what else should be saved?
We all got together and people told people, and those people signed up, and they told their friends, and they signed up.
By the end of that first week, we were around 1,000 volunteers.
There are things that we can do. Our goal with SUCHO is to capture cultural heritage websites, and we define that really broadly.
Websites of museums, galleries, libraries.
We have poems and we have short stories.
A 3D walking tour of an archaeological site.
The list of all the sites that we have archived and need to archive goes into a tremendously huge Google sheet.
Yeah, I think at some point I saw 130 people editing at the same time, simultaneously.
We have a group of people whose primary task is situation monitoring, watching the air raid alerts and the other attack alerts for different regions of Ukraine, and then checking our giant spreadsheet to see what remains undone from those areas that are currently under attack.
A memorable story for me was the State Archive of Kharkiv, the second biggest city of Ukraine. On the night of the 3rd of March, I just picked it from the list and managed to save its web archive, like 100 gigabytes. And then a few hours later, the situation monitoring team actually said the State Archive of Kharkiv has been damaged, and it actually went down and hasn't come up since. The big lesson from SUCHO has been how amazingly technology can empower a community if you manage to find the right tools. We use a set of archiving software. First of all, we submit links to the Internet Archive, but then we rely on an open source software suite that is called Web Recorder.
We have so many people that came together and mobilized to work on this effort, and it wouldn't work otherwise.
We realized, much to our surprise, that we seem to be the first, perhaps, wartime web archiving project. And we don't know when the war is going to end. We don't know how long we'll need to hold on to these things. But our goal is that when the Ukrainian cultural heritage workers are in a position to rebuild, will have what they need to be able to do that.
When librarians get together, amazing things can happen.